Imagine you're at a nice restaurant. You take your time looking at the menu, hearing about the specials, and placing your order. Now, imagine the food arrives and suddenly you decide you wanted a different meal. But it's too late, it's already cooked. Now, you could send it back and change your order, but that means you're waiting longer and paying extra. And the kitchen, they're thrown off too because they've already moved on to the next dish. This is exactly what happens with scope creep in construction. So making changes is totally fine when it happens at the right time. But if you wait until construction has already started, that's when things get costly, frustrating, and stressful. All right, let's define this. Scope creep happens when additional work gets added to a project after the original scope has already been agreed upon. Now, adding work to your project isn't necessarily a bad thing. As I said, maybe you realize just you'd like to upgrade your countertops or add built-ins. That's great, but the key is when these changes happen. So if we look at the general phases here, we get into two very specific items. Everything on this side before construction begins is your opportunity to explore, refine, and make adjustments. And we like to call this good scope creep. But once we cross this line over into the build stage, well, we like to call that the bad scope creep. That's when changes become expensive, they can delay the project, and sometimes require undoing work that has already been done. Scope creep isn't inherently bad, it's just a matter of timing. So how do we make scope creep work for you instead of against you? And it's simple. We put all the decision-making power here where it belongs. And this is why we have such a thorough design process. Instead of making rushed decisions mid-construction, we walk you through every detail up front. Layouts, materials, finishes, so you can make changes when it's easy to make them. And here's where things get really important, our estimating process. We don't just give you a lump sum and hope for the best. We break it down with transparent pricing so you can clearly see the impact of any changes before committing. That means if you decide during design that you want to upgrade materials, open up a wall, or add extra features, we can show you exactly how that affects your budget before you sign off. Now, let's talk about what happens when scope creep happens after we cross over into build, into the construction. And we've all heard about construction horror stories, right? Well, this is almost always the root cause right here. And this is where your contract or agreement type will make all the difference. And there are basically two types. If you're on a fixed fee agreement, any mid-project change will go through a formal change order process. You approve them before they happen so you're not surprised by costs later. But if you're on a cost plus or time and materials agreement, every change just keeps the meter running. So there's no ceiling to cost, and that's when people start feeling out of control. And we choose to do business this way. We find it the best method to give our clients a smooth and predictable experience during construction. So what does this mean for you? It's going to help you make informed decisions as you move through the process. It's going to continually lock in your price. It will continually align your schedule, and there is a clear and predictable process. In other words, you get the best of both worlds. Flexibility when it matters and certainty when you need it. And here's my challenge for you. When you're thinking about your remodel, don't just ask, what do I want? Ask yourself, when is the right time to make these decisions, and what type of overall experience do I want? If you want a team that helps you make smart decisions before construction starts, so you get the home you love without the stress of a mid-project surprise, let's talk. And you can click in the link below and schedule a consultation to learn more. Thank you.